Girl, I don't dance, I work. I don't play, I slay. I don't walk, I strut, and then sashay. But I don't work for free. That's not the tea, hunty. So make it rain on me, and I might let you see. What you gonna let them see? My nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels.
My nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels.
Head, shoulders, knees, toes, don't know these hoes. Face, lips, eyes, nose, camera, click, we pose. Beat, mug, limp, wrist, VIP list. Wave, blow a kiss. I'm
Hello, friends.
Oh, we're doing this again.
It's time for the spectacular.
Oh, I'm excited.
A jumbo series of live shows.
Cool.
With guests whom you all know.
We sure do.
We got all you need in the TV Co app, which is free. We're talking everyday life with BB alums, old school, new school. It's all epic fun. So let's get started, friends, because us three got a lot to discuss.
We do.
It's time to enjoy the show.
It is.
Let's see who'll be joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Guess who's enjoying the intro?
Hooray!
It's me, and I'm sorry, Nicole, I tried for you, but we got guests. We gotta start the show. Go, Nicole, start the show. Hello, everybody, and hello, Nicole. Happy 100th episode.
I know. Happy birthday. I guess not birthday, but happy centennial. Would that be the word for it? Whatever it is, happy day to you, Eric.
I was thinking that we should have wore our whatever outfit we wore on the first show. I thought of that last minute and didn't want you to stab me, so I didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't think I had the shirt on me, but I do have this very bulky color block sweater. I'm feeling like I'm about to go pumpkin picking. I got some side pony action. This is a whole look.
Well, I love it, and I see that we already have people rolling in everywhere. So remember, if you guys are watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on wherever you guys are watching, make sure that you hit that subscribe, follow, like button, of course. Share the show. Let everybody know that we are live. And if you have any questions, of course, you can leave them in the chat rooms wherever you are watching. We can pull them up, or you can tweet us them with hashtag TVCoLive. And if you are watching this back in the future or listening to it on your favorite podcast provider, what should they do, Nicole?
They should leave it a 5-star review and a positive rating and share it with all of their loved ones and friends and family and neighbors and the mailman.
Well, I love it. Of course, share the show if you're watching it back too. And if you need any of the show notes or any of the information or links to, I have a feeling, what will be a lot of the stuff we talked about on this show, you can check it out on our website, hellofriendspod.com. That being said, Nicole.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the honors as always.
Thank you. Okay. Woo, my friends, for our 100th episode, who better to have than somebody who is 100 out of 100, a tremendous human being who has an outstanding music career, holds a VMA in so many amazing music videos, a quarantine queen, and do I have your attention? It is the one, the only tremendous Todrick.
Welcome, Todrick. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. You look adorable, by the way.
Thank you. I don't know
you.
how I feel about the sweater.
I feel great about the sweater. Not that you're asking me, but if you wanted to know my fashion advice, I would say the sweater is a toot, not a boot.
Oh, thank you. What about Eric's plaid over there?
I like Eric's plaid. It really goes with the background that he's chosen for himself on this lovely afternoon. I think I love a man who knows how to choose a color that accents his facial features. Those eyes, they deserve a blue. They deserve it.
I was going to go just with the blue t-shirt, but here's what I've realized doing shows in this time that we live in. Everybody only sees me right here anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing pants. No pants is our brand around here, and it's all good.
I love that. Hallelujah.
We do love it. Well, we are so excited to have you here. We cannot wait to hear what you have been up to. Of course, we have questions for you, and people can start leaving them in the chat rooms wherever they are watching. But I know where you wanted to get started, Nicole. So I'm going to let you start at your start.
Yes. Todrick, do you remember where you and I met?
Here we go. It's about Nicole now.
At Tommy, we were at that thing with Tommy where it was like a little scavenger hunt type of like house that you like played around in. Yeah.
It was at like a wine mansion. It was like a wine tasting. There was these giant. Yeah. We just thought they were balls, but it turns out they were actually grapes.
Oh my gosh! Yes, yeah. I love that. Yeah, I do remember that day very well. And Paul was there with us.
Yes, and I remember you two bonded a lot about like jewelry and Paul's whole like aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a great night. I was so excited to meet you because as a huge friend and fan and supporter of the Tommy Bracco, he always had just like rave reviews to give you. And so I was really super stoked to meet you. And I was just so happy that you're as genuine in person as you were on the show.
Oh, thanks so much. We all love Tommy here. He's the best.
Oh my God, you showed Todrick the nice Nicole? That is great. She was choking me earlier. She literally
Eric,
had me in a headlock.
Sassy. You're so sassy, Eric. I love it.
I was just trying to simply eat something before the show. She was like, no, that's the last of the candy. She comes up and full on gets me in a headlock.
Wow.
Wrestling it away from me.
And to keep him in check.
Just to keep me in check.
It's adorable. This is goals.
Yes.
So, Todrick, we do know you're obviously a huge fan of Tommy the person, but you're also a huge fan of Tommy the game player. We know you're a huge Big Brother fan.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on this current season?
This current season is like fun to me. I guess it's fine, but if I'm being really honest, which I'm all about honesty, even if it means a cancellation online. So sorry if you don't want to hear this, but nice. I just think that I'm a little bit bored this season. I think that when you have a bunch of people who have gone through the Big Brother machine and they know what they're all trying to be PR, like they're trying to be their own publicists as well, trying to make sure they don't burn bridges. And ultimately, you can't really do that. We live in a world where there's no way that you can avoid confrontation online. People are going to like you and hate you. That's just the name of the game. Yep. And so I would like to see people being more transparent, more real and authentic, because that real world type of vibe is what I think draws the audience into loving Big Brother so much.
I agree with that 100%. And one thing you were talking about earlier with us is like reception online. Like you just said just then, I respect you so much for saying, like, I don't care if I get canceled for this. This is my truth, because the Twitter streets are a little
they're a little scary. I've also realized that like when I have gone through moments where I'm having a takedown online and if I see it on Twitter, I'm just like, whatever. But if it then streams into Instagram and other things, I'm like, this might be something that I should take more seriously, because I think that Twitter is like a nesting egg, like a playground for a lot of people who live off of pettiness and negativity. And so I go on Twitter, I post what I have to post, and then I just get off of it. So there have been times that I've been being drugged on Twitter, and I've been, in the middle of a controversy that I wasn't really aware of. And I don't like to do things to poke fire, but if you're going to do an interview with someone, you might as well know their real human feelings versus them trying to be a pageant queen, because it's not really my vibe anymore.
And yeah. How have you navigated that? Because, obviously Nicole has come out of the house to a lot of criticism, a lot of fans very unhappy with her that she was not willing to lay down her game for other people, and, all fine now. But I think in the moment, it was very emotional for her when she got out of the house. I feel like you cried for a week straight.
Yeah, maybe longer. 2 weeks.
So, what advice would you give? Is it just this is my truth, which I feel like is what Nicole did, and then she put it out there and walk away and you leave it? Do you try and work through it yourself? What is your process for dealing with situations like that?
My process is really just I have been through enough of these takedowns and cancellations, or whatever you call them. I don't even know if you can call it being canceled or not, but I have a lot of friends who are in the industry, and they've helped me understand that news is ever revolving. You can only be canceled for so long, and then someone's going to do something the next week. And you have to just stay in the moment, be upset, let the anxiety fill your body and stress you out for a few days. But then if you just stay silent, people will move on to something else. And I also have realized that very rarely are the people who were ever for you to begin with now mad at you. I used to think I'm losing supporters, but really I had a takedown last year around this time. This is my 1-year anniversary since the last major takedown I had online. And I was so stressed out that it was going to affect my business and that my tour wasn't going to do well. And every night I was sold out, and I looked out at my audience and they didn't even know what was going on. It's also really easy for you as a single person to feel like we are Beyonce or we are like Taylor Swift. At the end of the day, our cancellations is not that big. It's like for such a small amount of people. Like sometimes like I'll have a small group of the gay community upset with me, but when I realize the bigger spectrum of the world, like how many people are not, you have to just know who you are, surround yourself with great people, take some of the things that people say, and if there is constructive criticism that you can pull out of it, say, great, I have understood that and I apply that. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, like, I am a human being. The whole point of living on this planet is to make mistakes. If you believe in the Bible, we've been making mistakes since day one. I don't cancel people for saying something homophobic 10 years ago because the world was in a different place 10 years ago. And so I consider the things that they say now, whatever. But I think the whole point of us marching and protesting and being out in the street is to change people's minds and hearts. And if we are successful in doing so, we shouldn't still be like crucifying them at the stake for something that they did in the past, because it's all learned behavior. No one grows up and is just racist when they come out or homophobic when they come out. Those are things that are taught. So we have to do our best to try to like be patient with people, because we are all like products of our environment and our ancestors in the world we live in. And so when I also then don't get mad at people for hating me, because I realize that hurt people and they're just upset and looking for attention oftentimes, or they're fighting for something because it hits home for them. And if it makes them feel good to go on Twitter and let their voice be heard and get some likes, because they might not be getting that attention in other ways in their regular everyday lives, then I'm like, great, let them have it. And I just stay with my friends who keep me centered. And you learn a lot about yourself when you go through these type of situations, as well as I'm sure you have. It can actually like help you grow as a human being. And even if the things that they're saying aren't true, there have been times I've gotten canceled for something that I didn't do, but I have done it before, but people didn't know about it. So I was like, great, I didn't do it this time, but whatever, I have done it before. So I will take the note and apply it to my life. And just being self-aware, I just say, great, there's fairness in that. And I move forward. And then a week later, literally it's so fast, in a week or 2 weeks, they're on to something else, and then you're free. So I just watch Disney Plus and hang out for a week. And that's it.
I absolutely love it, Nicole. Now, can you listen to it? Because I feel like that is a lot of the notes I give you.
It is. And now that it's been reinforced by Todrick and
yes,
signed,
you
sealed,
will
delivered,
listen.
I will. But no, recently I have realized that more so, that the people that give you constructive criticism and want you to grow, that on like Twitter or wherever it may be, that I can take with me. The people that criticize just to criticize and don't want to see you grow, they don't want to see you apologize, they don't want to see you implement it and move forward. Those are the people I've learned, like, oh, you're not here to really make a change or help a cause. You're just here to flap your gums. And that's the distinction I've started to make.
And they actually probably would like you. And if they meet you on the street, I've met a lot of people that were like, wow, I feel horrible for things that I've written about you, because you're not the person that I thought that you were. And that's totally fine too. And I'll accept that apology, because like I used to say things. I remember there was this time that Christina Aguilera, when I was like in high school, was on tour, and she was like in Dallas, and she was like, what's up, Miami? And I was like, oh, what an idiot. Why would she say whatever? And I just was so hard on her because she forgot the city that she was in. And then I went on a tour that was nowhere near as big as anything Christina Aguilera has ever done. And I showed up in Fort Lauderdale and I was like, what's up, Tampa? I didn't have a show in Tampa ever. There was no reason for me to be saying what there was. It wasn't like I was in Tampa the day before.
There was that one guy from Tampa that was like, yeah.
Like, why am I like, what's up, Chattanooga? Like, I never was going there. And so then I was like, wow, if I ever meet Christina Aguilera, I owe her the biggest apology, because I really was like, how disrespectful. But it's until you're in those shoes and traveling to a different place every day, you don't know where you are. You just don't know. Until you walked in someone's shoes, there's no way for you to understand it. So don't be too hard on those people, because they don't know. And if they met you, I'm sure they would honestly think that you're a lovely person.
You know, I feel like 100% I co-sign everything that you just said. However, I think there are moments in life where we should be allowed to comment negatively about people. Case in point, Todrick. My good pal over here, Nicole, was just in, the Big Brother house, and she was on the live feeds. And Nicole,
don't tell Patrick this.
And Nicole, I'm telling Todrick. And Nicole knows that I am like the hugest Taylor Swift fan. I'm like, Nicole, here's all I want you to do. When you're in the house, just, like give me content to make around Taylor, okay? Like, so we can do funny things. Okay. So we're waiting. Nicole's in the house. She's talking to Danielle Donato. Danny Donato goes, you know who I love, Nicole? You know what CD I want? She's like, what? And she's like, the new Taylor Swift album. And do you know what Nicole's reply was?
Eric, don't tell me.
She's all right. I was like, we literally had this conversation.
Seeing you, I have to actually go.
No, Todrick, we did a lip sync for our life. Nicole and I did a lip sync battle to You Need to Calm Down in full drag with each other. She loves Taylor Swift. I don't know if you were like intimidated by Danny in that moment. I don't know what was happening.
I think it was the week I was nominated, and I was very angsty and very angry with everybody. So I was like, "Oh, you like her? Yeah." Like I don't want to validate Danny. It was
what it was.
One of my prouder moments. It really wasn't.
It was.
You know what?
I love her music. Okay. I don't know why I said it.
No, she really loves it. I couldn't remember her reason. Her reason was she told, because of the first question I asked her when she got out, she's like, I wasn't validating Danny. She was sending me out.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I really want to meet Danny one day because I have a love-hate relationship with her, even though I've never met her. Like, I really did not like her, but now I started to come around and like her later on. So she's one of those people that I would have to meet. And Miss Christmas, the same. But I will say I had this moment a long time ago where I was on this like little gossipy show, and I love Lady Gaga. Like, lived for her. Like, I performed so many of her songs and like done whole like medleys of her. But we were on this like little round table situation, and it was a bunch of comedians, like the Chelsea Handler show, but for like YouTubers. And it was the way I made like $100 a week when I first moved to LA. I was so poor. And they made us go around and say, like, the thing was like you had to say something like a funny statement about the sentence that they said. And they saw it was something about Lady Gaga. I don't remember, but I had to say in 5 words something that was to be funny about the caption that they said. And I was like, sorry, Lady Gaga, try Sears, or like Sears is hiring, or something like that. It was like a very Regina George thing for me to say. But now I'm like, I hate that like lived on the internet. It would be different if I didn't like her, because there are artists that I don't really care for, but I am such a huge Lady Gaga fan. Like, what gay guy isn't? And now, out of context, that story lives. And and in context, I didn't have to say something rude, but it was just like, that's what in my mind at 22 years old, I thought was funny to say. And so, or whatever, however old I was.
When you're on the spot, or you get awkward, or like, oh, what do I say? Sometimes like the sass comes out, or this will be funny. And then if you say like, why would I say that? Like, I think sometimes, like you said, when something becomes timeless, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah. And you never know until you're in the situation. Like, you're like, most people are never in a place where we've all said things. Like, if we rolled the clock back and reached out to everybody and like, like brought up the footage of the things that they've said, it would be really terrible for people. But when you're a public figure, you have to realize that is going to live forever, and it can be turned into a GIF. It can be put and spliced in and edited a certain way, and it could come back to haunt you. Luckily, I think people know how much I like love Lady Gaga. But yeah, it could be really horrible. So now you just have to be so careful about the things that you say.
Well, are you guys okay? Have you ever met her since then? Does she is there any? Her. No,
I've never met her, but I would love to meet her because I just think she's like phenomenal. I think the way that she has like recreated her career, and she's never been gone. She just like started focusing on music and started and then she went to acting, and she was doing television, and then she like slayed in A Star Is Born, and then she came back and like came out with this like Chromatica that it's like the best visuals ever, and I have so many friends who dance with her and people who do her styling, and I would love to meet her because I just think she's so inspirational, and she's one of those people that has that real raw talent that has been around. She reminds me of the theater kids that I grew up with on Broadway. She is really adamant about singing live. She's so respectful to everybody. You don't ever hear horror stories about how she treated anyone. She's that's the type of reputation I would like to have. I just really like that she's so full of love and inclusion and acceptance. And
Well, for our 100th episode, Todrick, we thought we should give you a gift. So we are happy to say that we are guesting in, not Lady Gaga, but that would have been great if I would have known that ahead of time.
Why?
I would have loved it.
Is she
I
your
think
Rolodex?
Yeah, no, she's not in my Rolodex. I have found, and I'm sure you probably have seen the same thing. I used to work for TRL way back in the day, and I always interacted with the celebrities, the musicians, and I always found the people I was so excited to meet that I thought were going to be the best were sometimes not. And the people that I was like, oh, you're going to be the worst, like a Marilyn Manson, was the nicest, most caring. I always find it's the opposite of what I think.
They say
Except
don't
for
meet your
in the
heroes.
case of Beyonce, because Beyonce delivers 100%.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
so sweet.
Beyonce's like
and
not even
Taylor.
human.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
Taylor is also that person.
Yes.
You know, she's just so she just delivers and then some, like exactly what you would think, but just 10 times nicer. You know.
And we do want to ask you about that because we know you won your first VMA because of the music video for "You Need to Calm Down." It got the video for good, correct?
Yes,
which
it
is
did.
awesome. How does that feel? How does that feel to walk on the stage and take the VMA? That must be absolutely incredible.
It was an out of body experience. I've always wondered what it would be like to give one of those speeches. Like, I'm so used to having a microphone here on my hand, and there were so many people screaming, and I didn't remember actually saying hardly any words. I thought about for 2 seconds what I would say if we did win, but it was like we went and sat down, and 5 minutes later we had won. And when she looked at me, I was like, "Oh my God, holy shit! I can't believe this is happening right now." And so it was just insane. I don't know. I just got chills looking down because it was like such a diverse audience. And I remember all the kids screaming, "Shay never made anybody less gay." And I never thought in my entire life that I would live to see a day where a bunch of kids all over the world of all different racial backgrounds, religions, and ethnicities would be screaming those type of lyrics at the top of their lungs, and that I would be even able to play the smallest part in making that video or that song come to life. And it just really feels surreal. And I love the fact that Taylor allowed me to be such a huge part of the creation of it. She's so gracious. The fact that she allowed me to speak is like such a huge opportunity. Not even just for me, but for kids that are sitting in small towns who are gay or who are African American, who haven't seen themselves winning these type of awards either ever or not very often. If there are a few, anomaly cases where that happens. And she and her team, it's not just her, it's everybody that she surrounds herself with, like her mom, Andrea, and Scott, and Tree, her publicist, and Erica, who like has to deal with all my calls. Like, I asked Taylor for 25 tickets to a concert once, and Taylor's concerts are like sold out, but she was able to like squeeze me into like a press area and met all 25 of my friends. She came to my concert, to see Kinky Boots, and she met everybody backstage, not just the people on the show, but the people who did the hair, the wigs, the makeup, the parents of the kids who came, the custodians, the ushers. And I just sometimes think about my level of fame in comparison to that, and how there have been times where I haven't really wanted to sign that many autographs or take pictures. And then I think if someone like her can take the time to do that, then I can. And so she inspires me to just be a better person. And yeah, she's that girl.
I did not know that. That's really incredible.
I believe it's on your YouTube, Todrick, and we will link to all of your socials and everything below the show when you guys are watching it back. But I feel like you did a behind the scenes of the video where didn't she let you know that she was giving you the credit for was it like on the video? And what that was also the video that was the first time her and Katy Perry, right? I have the worst memory, but wasn't that also the first video where like they put that, to rest for the public and everything? That is such an amazing video, I think, to be
Jay
a part of.
Is in it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of raised drag queens in it, and non-drag race. But yeah, that is, I can't imagine how much that must mean to people watching it. I grew up when there was nothing gay on TV. I think we had The Real World, and that was the only time I ever saw a gay person on TV. And to think
I remember that, Danny.
Yeah, exactly. Which I was like, thought that's what relationships were like. Whatever. To know that kids grow up now and get to see content that you create, your music videos, your choreography. It's so amazing to see how far we've come in a relatively short time, and also how far we need to go also, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you was my point for creating such amazing things for people.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. I don't realize when you're making, sometimes you don't realize how much of an impact you're having on people. I'm sure even being in the Big Brother house. Fun fact, by the way, I don't know if I've ever said this like super publicly, but I was asked to be on Celebrity Big Brother the year that Tamar Braxton won. And that's the reason why I started watching Big Brother, because I was like, well, if I'm going to consider doing the show, then I want to see what the show's all about. And I had never seen an episode. And it was just
So
really,
21 was
really
your first season?
No. I've now seen like from 15 to today.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
caught up since season 15. But when they asked me to do that, I started watching it, and I watched Celebrity Big Brother the first season. And then I started with Frankie Grande, because Frankie and I have been friends for a long time, and we're both Broadway kids. So I started with his season, and then I just jumped around and started watching a bunch of the seasons. I have my favorite seasons, and but I was so happy when my favorite season.
Yeah. What's your favorite season?
My favorite season, just like people wise, is obviously season 21. And that's like a true thing, because I really loved like the people that were on there. I felt like there was a lot of love and not like a lot of drama, as much drama as there have been in other seasons. But if I want to get and I love season 16 because Frankie's on it. But if I want to get somebody hooked and get them upset and get them riled up and like whatever, then we watch season 15 because it's the most controversial, and season 19. Those are the ones with the crazy fights. They make me upset, but they also like, I think it shows like the truth of what happens in America, like the difference of how people are. And I think,
that frustrates, not to cut you off, that frustrates me so much when people say, how dare this happen in the Big Brother house? That season was horrible. And I'm like, don't you see that is the world, just in this little microcosm? Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I think that is a very accurate depiction of how a lot of people feel in this world, but we're now getting to a place where people are able to disguise their racism and homophobia, which to me is more scary than somebody being blatant and upfront with it, because now people have deniability. They can be like, no, I'm not racist, I'm not homophobic, but behind closed doors, they are doing things that are very reminiscent of the things that happened on season 15. So I loved that you got to see it, because oftentimes there are people in Middle America that are like, I don't see that. And they are so appalled, they, at least they pretend to be when they see things like that on television. But I'm like, I think that you probably do see this, or you don't see it because you don't come in contact with people who don't look like you. So I think those seasons are very interesting and educational to watch, even though that might be controversial, that I enjoy watching those seasons. I think it's very, very eye-opening.
Well, I am going to just interject in here because I feel like, Nicole, we have not done our duty in doing this. We're not going to tell you who to do it for, but a great way to bring about change and have a voice in these times and, support movements is to get out there and vote. And time is running out. So you all should be out there voting. Vote.
I'll be voting.
I'll be voting.
We will all be voting.
We will all be voting. Yes, we better all be voting.
Make sure I say it.
Yes.
I don't like talk politics and stuff like that, but yes, please vote.
Yes. Vote.
Yes.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, I got distracted. Okay. Well, next on the docket, so I'm just going to randomly pick a topic, is Disney. Because I know you're a huge fan. I have never been to Disney World. And this is a topic I like to bring up because everybody yells at me, but I've never been. But I know Disney movies. I know Disney princesses. My favorite princess is Pocahontas. My favorite movie is the Goofy movie. So I know that kind of stuff, but I've never been. That's Eric's.
You had me a Goofy movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Well, let me ask you this. So we know that you love Disney, obviously. This is when I want to annoy people that listen to the show, one of my favorite things to ask people is Disneyland or Disney World, Todrick?
That's so hard.
It's really not.
Probably Disney. I think I would say Disney World, but the thing is that I really, really love Disneyland because I think that it's, first of all, it's the original, but also like I go there to see the shows, and
Okay.
just from the back end, like I don't ride roller coasters, so
Me neither.
when I go there to see the shows, I like the fact that Disneyland spends so much money and makes their performances almost like a Broadway performance because they have less parks. Whereas things feel very like, you know, like we're manufacturing a show that we're going to throw out really quickly at Disney World. But Disney World was my first job. I was in the Beauty and the out of high school. I was in the Beauty and the Beast show at what was then called MGM Studios. And so I'll always have a special place in my heart for that. But
It's awesome.
But I don't know. I think maybe I'm going to say Disneyland, even though that's some blasphemous to some people. It's
Land
hard.
is the
To
California
me,
one,
yes.
correct? That's the
Land
California
is California.
one? Okay.
Yes.
Why is it that you feel different?
Because when I go to Disney World, I like going to Florida. You like go under the gates. It's welcome home. You're in the world. In Disneyland, now I'm like you. I will not go. There are some roller coasters I will go on, but I mean, like children roller coasters. They had to give me Xanax to get me on like a rockin' roller coaster. But my point is, in Disneyland, I feel like sometimes if you go too high on an attraction, it's like, oh, there's the street. And I am reminded that I am not in this fantasy world that I want to believe I'm in. That's really my only complaint. I agree with you. The shows are amazing in Disneyland.
Yeah, that's really my thing. I go to see the shows, and when I saw Aladdin there, like I personally prefer the Aladdin that was at Disneyland California Adventure to the Broadway production of Aladdin. Their production of Frozen is like almost comparable to the Broadway production of that show. I love Mickey and the Magical Map. And I just love that, like, there's a different style of dance on this coast. People just like have a lot more hip hop flair because this side of the coast is very commercial, whereas like the East Coast is very Broadway. So I like going to watch the performers perform at Disneyland because they just go so full out. And it's just the original park. So when you think about history and the fact that Walt Disney actually walked there and it was the first major theme park that was ever created, it's like, how do you compete with that? You know, I have brought very great arguments, Eric. You have to admit that.
You're doing it very
no, you did. You
so
definitely.
Far, Eric's had me convinced to go to Florida first, but okay.
There really isn't a question. You'll be going to Florida first, but we can appreciate.
Florida has more to do. You have Animal Kingdom there, which I love, and I love the shows. Animal Kingdom, Finding Nemo, and Festival of Lion King are so awesome, and the fact that you can see all the animals and it feels like you're actually animals. I don't know why I said it like that, but the fact that if you feel like you're actually in the safari in Africa. And then I love that they have the Magic Kingdom. The thing that bothers me is like Epcot. I just don't understand the point of Epcot, but I don't drink. So I think if I drank, then I would like Epcot, but that park existing like bothers me. I'm like, tear that down and make something else.
It's a bunch of countries. It's a bunch of countries, Nicole, and the straight people like you drink around the world. They go like country to country and they get drunk, and it's a bunch of straight people doing annoying stuff drunk.
I had a teacher that went there only for Epcot all the time.
Oh, gross.
We talked about.
I think that people like it, but it is a very adult vibe to Epcot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, if I'm going to go to Disney, I want it to feel like a family event. I love the idea of going around the world, and it's like you're in It's a Small World, but it's a big world, you know.
Right.
So I like that, and I like the cultural diversity and the being able to see, like feeling like you're going on a world tour. But I don't think most people go there for that. I feel like most people that I know go for the drinks.
Yeah.
My friend who's here is nodding in the background.
She knows.
Oh yeah, and food, yeah.
Yes, the food is great.
Is there anything for Fantasia at Disney, or no? That's not like a thing.
Fantasmic, yeah, and that show is great. And I will say
there? Oh my gosh, I would cry.
Oh, you would love it, but I prefer. Well, that just sealed the deal. You should definitely go to Disney World because Pocahontas is not my favorite Disney movie, and the original Fantasmic that's at Disneyland doesn't have like a Pocahontas in it at all. Pretty much, maybe she comes out for a second, but at Disney World, it came out around the time Pocahontas was coming out, so there's an entire Pocahontas section, and you can only see that at Disney World. So that alone is the reason why you should go to Disney World.
I'm going to Disney World.
I love this whole conversation for you, Nicole, because normally anytime Nicole says something like that to me, like, is there anything like that's like that at Disney World? My reply to her is always,
yeah, and you just roll your eyes, and I don't know if that's a yes or a no.
no, it's a no, because you're triggering me. And I know you know. So I love it. I love that you're getting, what?
I know that Todrick makes a good Maleficent. That's what I know.
This is true.
Wow.
Look at what? Like, I wish I could look that good. That's awesome.
It took a lot of people to make me look that good.
And like, is that like makeup like thick?
No, it's just regular makeup, but it does look like I almost have like a prosthetic cheek on or whatever. But that's because Lipstick Nick, who did my makeup, was able to like really make it look very three-dimensional. She's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
It does look impressed. It does look amazing. I want to take a few questions from chat because, oh my God, we have hundreds of questions and everyone is like, you're ignoring us. It's our 100th show, everyone.
Congratulations, by the way, on 100 shows. That's impressive.
Thank you. It feels like way less, which is amazing. I apologize.
You love me.
It is. I apologize. I think it was Nico who asked it in the TV Code chat. Basically, I'm going to paraphrase because there's a million. He basically said, obviously you have done so many music videos, performed so many songs, written so many of your own songs. Is there any one, obviously there wouldn't be a way to pick a favorite, but is there one that sticks out in your mind of, I loved this experience, I loved this music video, I loved creating this? I know that we mentioned the Taylor one, but besides the Taylor one.
Besides the Taylor one, I think one of my favorite videos to do was probably Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels, only because that was so scary for me. I wanted to do a video so bad, but I was so nervous that like there was no feature on it. And sometimes like I think it's scary to create a video, and like we as artists, sometimes it's just scary. I feel like I believe in myself a certain amount, but there's always this doubt that people aren't going to like it. But I felt like it was necessary to do it. And the fact that it was kind of like androgynous and gender bending, I really wanted there to be like as many dancers as we could find to come and do the video. And I didn't think that many dancers were going to submit and say they were going to come and volunteer their time to dance with us and stomp around in the heels for that long. It was truly incredible. And we had such a great time online. And that is the biggest thing that I've ever done on my YouTube channel. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without those dancers and without the entire team. But it felt like something I did for myself versus like having to have somebody more famous than me on the track to make it go viral. So for me, that was just like a validating thing as an artist, that you can make great magic and it can be the biggest thing that you've ever done. Because a lot of my most viral videos are viral because they had a lot of cameos in them, which is a technique a lot of people, that's what part of the appeal of the You Need to Calm Down video is there's a cameo around every corner of a lot of people who are in the LGBTQ plus community, but also allies, so that was just really a huge like landmark thing for me that made me be really proud of the success and the brand that my team and I have built over the past decade. Oh, that sounds weird to say.
I will say this, if you are somebody who is here for a reason that maybe you don't know who Todrick is, or you haven't seen Drag Race, or you're unaware of all of these things, I highly recommend that you even just start at the YouTube, like Todrick's YouTube channel, which obviously we'll link below. I love you so much because you can tell, or I feel like you can tell, maybe I'm totally wrong, a lot of your videos, I feel like they are inspired by Disney. You go like all out and put everything into everything you do, where I feel like down to the shade of color a dancer is wearing, I just feel like you think out aspects that I think a lot of people just be like, oh, that's okay, that's good, let's just go, we got to get it going. It is an experience. It is like the Disney World versus Disneyland, dare I say it, for a Todrick Hall video, in my opinion.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. First of all, I just want to say really quickly, I think there's like the slightest bit of a delay, so I apologize if I'm ever cutting somebody off, because I feel like I'm cutting people off. secondly, I have been the biggest Disney fan since I was a kid. Like, I grew up watching those movies. I know them religiously. I'm that annoying person that can quote every line from all, especially the big 90s musical movies, the Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Little Mermaid, which was technically 1989, but I consider it to be a 90s movie. I love all of those movies, and I know every lyric to every song, and I've seen them all as they've been interpreted on Broadway and on ice and around the world on tours. I just love those things, and they've inspired me to like want to sing and want to dance, because I think I was always attracted to things that lived in that whimsical, fantastical musical world, which I now realize is all like inspired from Broadway. But as a child, I didn't know that Broadway existed. So that was the thing that was like kind of like the segue from me being a person who thought I was supposed to play sports, because that's what most of my cousins did, to being somebody who was like, no, this artistic lane is the one I want to like drive down. And Disney has always been like a huge part of like what's inspired me. And so in a full circle moment, I got to write the Magic Happens parade that came out last year at Disneyland, which is the reason, you know, on the opposite side, why you should go to Disneyland, Nicole was saying. But I remember growing up, and I didn't take dance, you know, up until I was 8 years old. But every year I would record the Disney Christmas parade, and I would put up a mirror and learn all the choreography that the dancers would do in the parades, because that was like my dream, to dance at a parade at Disneyland. And those parades were always very magical, and they always like appealed to me, and I identified with them and wanted to be a part of them. But I never really saw very many people who looked like myself in them. And so this last year I was doing a show in London. I had to beg them to be able to get out and fly home for just 24 hours to be able to watch the parade. And they allowed me to do it. And it was like everything was moving so fast. And when I got out and heard my voice coming out of the speakers on Main Street at the original Disneyland park, and all of the characters and Mickey and Minnie dancing and singing to songs that I created, and saw like Princess Tiana, a Black princess with her own float, and the float for Coco and the float for Moana. And I was seeing little Hispanic and little, you know, kids of color watching the parade. I started sobbing, and I don't cry very often, but I couldn't even catch my breath. It was like, there are very few moments. Like I have like 3 or 4 moments that are like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. One of those is winning that BMA. Another one is my opening night in Kinky Boots on Broadway. But this like definitely competes with those moments, because it was just so surreal and such a full circle moment. And it's one of the things that I'm like the most great. Thank you. It's just one of those things that I'm super grateful for, because I don't know that they've ever had an African-American write and like compose one of their parades before, and it was unlike anything that they'd ever done. And it's definitely, undeniably, without a doubt, the most diverse parade that they've ever done. And I would know, because I'm a huge Disney stalker. So for me to be a part of that, the history of that, and changing the trajectory of what people are going to see in the entertainment world when they go to these Disney parks, is just, it's incredible. Because seeing yourself on a float, and not like you're on the side of the float and Cinderella's up there and Princess Tiana's like in a swamp as a frog, like seeing her in a float that's like gorgeous. Because, you know, like we have one Black princess, and she's a frog the whole time. It's like,
I just had a fight with, not a fight, I was yelling at my sister. She had nothing to say because I just kept on yelling. But I was like, this is so unfair. I was more ranting at her. It wasn't a conversation. I was ranting at my sister, because I'm like, how is this fair? The one Black princess, she's a frog for like 75% of the movie. I want to see Tiana. I want to see her lovely dresses. I want to hear her lovely voice, not the frogs. Makes me angry.
So I'm ready for Disney to come out with it. I don't want them to be like, great, we gave everybody a Black princess. I think there should be several Black princesses, and several Asian princesses. I think we love Mulan, but let's get more. I love Frozen, but I would love it more if it were, you know, like if there was like a little bit more ethnicity involved in it. But I think that Disney has gotten the note, and I think they're taking the proper steps to try to make people feel more included when they're watching Disney and experiencing it, because it's just important. It's important for you as a little girl to feel like you can go to the store and pick out a dress that you can wear and feel like you're a princess and you matter, and you can rule a kingdom. You can fall in love. You can kiss a hairy beast and bring him back to life. You know, like everybody deserves to have those feelings. And so I'm really excited to see what happens with Disney and with the future of entertainment just in general.
Love it.
Hate to break it to you, Nicole. You know what YouTube video we're watching later. It's also my favorite thing to do when we're working here. I make her watch Disney parade videos.
He does.
Oh, wow.
He just showed me
well,
the
enjoy.
So
boo to you. What was it? Boo to you? Booty.
it was
shake?
Mickey's very not so scary Halloween party parade, but yes, the title you could say could be Boo to You. Yes.
Yes, what you showed me. It was boo to you. I was right.
Yes, thank you. I am proud that you remembered that. Way to go. Go ahead, Nicole. Sorry.
I don't know if I should share this with Todrick. It's not very. So I haven't been to Disneyland, haven't been to Disney World. I have also never been to Broadway, so I'm sorry.
Oh, what's happening? Have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
I've seen it, but not on Broadway. I've seen it at a local theater.
You've seen the movie of The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, that's good. I mean, if you told me that, I would be like, yikes.
I love The Wizard of Oz. I've seen it perform, but just not anything Broadway-esque. And where was I going? Oh, in the chat, in the CBCO chat, Hannah's aunt wanted to know, what is your favorite Broadway production you have done?
I think that my favorite Broadway production, that's hard. I have to say two. My first Broadway show was The Color Purple, and that show changed my life because I grew up around a lot of Black people because I am Black. So at church and in my family, I saw them, but I never really saw Black people on TV that did things that felt like I identified with. And that was the first time at like 21 years old almost that I saw a show that I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I was made to do. This is what my gift is. And I'm seeing an entire cast of African-American people do this. So that is going to be one of those moments, like my Broadway debut. I'll never forget what that felt like. But Kinky Boots, I have to say, is probably my favorite because it was my first starring role on Broadway. I was so nervous to do this role because I was taking over for the likes of like Wayne Brady and the Billy Porter. But thirdly, it was just, I didn't know if they were making a mistake casting me as the lead because I felt like A, I was uncertain of whether I could do it, and B, they hadn't really cast someone who was like an unconventional celebrity, not known from television or film, who was mostly a social media influencer, and put them in a show in hopes to save a show by selling tickets, you know? And the opening night was incredible and my fans all came and they all wore red kinky boots. But being there when Donald Trump became the president and seeing the energy shift that was in Times Square when people were just like so devastated and like just confused about what was going to happen, seeing them come to see a show that was all about love and inclusion, which was like the one thing that everyone needed in that moment, was so awesome to be like the ringleader of that show at that time. And just to see so many of my fans come out to see Broadway, their first Broadway show because I was in it, is like planting that seed for somebody to fall in love with theater is like one of the coolest things you could do because I love it so much. So for me to be the reason that all those people were, you know, brought into the Big Apple to see a show for the first time was incredible. And the show is about, you know, somebody who has lived a very similar life to me. And I got to play a man and a drag queen at the same time and you know, be able to flirt with androgyny in the middle of the show. And there are just not a lot of shows. In fact, I can't think of a single other show where it has a lead LGBTQ plus Black man who is able to do both of things. So for me to be able to do that on stage was just, it was just beyond incredible. It was like such a life-changing experience.
My stipulation is I want to see you and Tommy in the same Broadway production. Then I will be front row. And I want that to be my first show.
You have to see Tommy perform. I'm not just saying this. I think
I'd cry.
Tommy was incredible. He was the smallest part in that show, no pun intended. And he was like the reason why I liked the show. I'd never seen him before. I fell in love with him. Like I was like, we're going to get married after this. It hasn't happened yet. And he has a boyfriend now. So I'm happy for him. But I fell in love.
No, wait. No, back up. Now, if you two get married, I will be like the flower girl. And
we can break that up, Todd.
We can make that happen right now. Where's my cell phone?
Right now.
Yeah. And we'd be so cute, like Todd me, Halko. That could be like our ship name. You know what I mean?
Who's going to perform at the wedding?
Yes. Oh my God. But he's such a star on stage. You have to see him perform. It's truly something incredible. Like he just steals the entire show without doing too much. He just has that it factor, and I can't wait for him to get another opportunity to perform because he's such a specific type, so it's probably difficult for him to find roles, but when he finds them, he just blows them out of the water. And he was my favorite part of seeing Pretty Woman on Broadway, and I just love it. I can't wait for you to see him. You're gonna become a fan of him. You're gonna forget he's your friend, and you're gonna be like a fan.
Here's 2 points that I'm going to make. Number one, you just saw the problem with anything that we try and do with Nicole Todrick. I'll be like, Nicole, let's go see Wicked. It's iconic. You need to see it. You know Wizard of Oz. I need to see Tommy for the first time. So she throws all these rules in. That's number one. That's why she hasn't been there. Number two, I'm going to save us a million emails, Nicole, and say, everyone, that was a joke. We're not going to be breaking up Tommy and his boyfriend. No. You would think that we didn't have to say that, but believe me, we do.
No.
Just want to be clear.
Break up. Everybody's going to come to us first.
Right.
Everyone's going to be
I am not a home wrecker, darling. I'm happy for Tommy. I really am.
And they're adorable.
I'm so happy that we're such close friends. Like we're really, really great friends.
Really great friends.
Like, I love that you love Wicked so much. I'm such a huge Wicked fan. In fact, I just feel like this is like a meant to be thing between you and I, Eric. So
I don't know what I'm experiencing right now.
During this show, I've realized we're the same person, down to like recording the Disney parade. I still do it. And like learn it's very weird. Go ahead, Nicole.
Fun fact, because you outed me, Eric, about the whole Taste Whistle thing in the house. So I will out you right now. We have a document in front of us where we can, write notes to each other if like our lighting's not working or our microphones aren't working. And Eric wrote to me, Nicole, I swear to God, Todrick and I are the same person.
He did.
He wrote it. It's right here.
Well, then I'm going to embarrass us
sometime, Eric.
Yes. When it is safe to leave our homes. I might make you regret it right now, though, Todrick.
No. Oh my gosh, what are you going to say?
What are you doing?
I did not tell Nicole that I was going to do this. And I want to just point out that this is highly embarrassing for me and not Nicole, because I would like to point out that I had a back injury recently and Nicole keeps forcing me to do TikToks. But Todrick, I would like you to judge which of us twerked better on our latest TikTok. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So here we go. There is no audio. Here's Nicole and I. She's making me twerk, and then I gave up.
I think that's really good.
That wasn't that bad, right?
Thank you. Do you think I think I held somewhat of a rhythm? I don't really twerk. Mine's more like a tush shake.
She does a
like
tush.
A really, really cute, like Christian booty shake,
Yes, Nicole. I don't know if this was another one. Oh, this was our best one that we've done.
So well.
I feel like we've done very well in all of them. Nicole decided, when we started doing shows together, she was like, oh, we have to do TikToks. And I'm like, Nicole, I'm 40. I don't do TikToks. And she's like, no, you're going to do it. And then I ended up getting a herniated disc in my back. And she's like, now we're going to do twerking videos. I was like, this is fun.
It's called stretching and exercise. It helps motivate the muscles to feel better.
It is ridiculous. But I think I won.
Healing of the soul.
Well, first of all, I'm very shocked. I was gagged when you just said you were 40. So that's really crazy. And I just want to finish this thought so people don't think I'm trying to lure you to my cave of wonders and take advantage of you. I was saying that you should come over because the coolest thing that I own in my entire life is I own the original costumes from Wicked. I have Kristen Chenoweth's original bubble dress and Adina Menzel's original Elphaba second act costume. I have Megan Hilty's popular dress and a Madame Morrible gown. And it's a small group of people who would appreciate that. And you are one of them. So you have to come over sometime.
Okay.
So you could see it.
I'm down for it. I am down. I didn't even.
I know the song, Defying Gravity. So.
Congratulations.
We're really happy for you, Nicole.
You have to go see the show, Nicole. We're not going to take this anymore, okay? As soon as Broadway opens back up, you need to be there the first night.
Okay.
When seeing something. It doesn't matter what show it is.
Tommy has to be there to some extent.
Okay, me and Tommy will take you on a triple date, And we'll go. And Eric, you can come too. And
I'm gonna
Tommy will
get the
bring his
boyfriend away.
boyfriend. Yeah, yeah, that's the boy. And we should all go together. I don't know if you're dating somebody, Nicole. Are you dating someone?
I am not.
Okay.
Todrick, whoever you can find me, send them my way, please.
Okay, I'll
Please.
find you somebody. I'm a really excellent matchmaker. Ask my friend Jenny; she knows. And
Oh,
and
I was just gonna say we could get Todrick involved in the Omarosa project. Omarosa wants to.
Oh, just tell everybody. Go ahead.
She said it on the show.
She did. I just listen. Big Brother messes my brain. I'm forgetting what was said publicly and what wasn't.
Omarosa is working on creating a dating show around Nicole because she's determined to find her a partner in life.
Good luck.
I don't think it's going to be hard for you to find a partner. I have faith in you.
Aw, thanks, Todrick. I think it's going to be very difficult.
No, you're so cute. I think you just got to let people know, because I thought you had a boyfriend.
Nope, she is single and annoying me 18 hours a day. So the quicker we could find her one would be great.
I love it. We love a good husband.
You know what else we love?
Yes.
We love Halloween. And Todrick, I need to talk to you about something that is coming up that I may not know Broadway, I may not know Disneyland, Disney World, but I know Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
I know it forwards, backwards, upside down. Me and my sisters know every quote. We want to be the Sanderson sisters for Halloween next year. We got it all planned out. It's happening. So tell us about In Search of the Sanderson Sisters, a Hocus Pocus Halloween takeover.
I got a call recently from Bette Midler's team that said that they wanted me to be a part of this, and I was super excited. She has an awesome foundation in New York that's all about going green and saving the trees and growing your own food and plants, which I don't do, but I'm going to try to be inspired, because I don't want to be standing up for Bette and then I'm like, honestly, at McDonald's every day. But it's a really good cause. It's been happening for a long time. I don't have the link or whatever right now, but if you go on Bette Midler's Instagram, you can see the link. And also I posted something on my Instagram today, so if you go on @Todrick on Instagram, you'll see. But it's a cool reunion, and so many people, like all of the three original sisters, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathleen and Jimmy, and obviously Bette Midler, are coming back together for the first time in 27 years to celebrate Halloween. And there's a bunch of cool little skits. There's a cameo from me, but Adam Lambert is in it. Who else is in it? Meryl Streep. Jennifer Hudson is there. I mean, Sarah Silverman. It's really, really, really cool. The people, the A-list celebrities that she's gotten to come and be a part of this awesome fundraiser is so cool. And I think it's going to be like a monumental event. So many thousands of tickets have been sold. And I hope that you get to watch it, because you're going to love it. I saw some clips of it and it blew my mind how great they all still looked together, and all of the performances. It just looks really, really incredible.
It looks so good. And I saw the picture that you posted of you like in Bette Midler's like look.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I was like, I need these costumes. I'm telling you, me and my sisters, there's three of us. Look at that.
Yeah, that was at my costume fitting with Marco. I'm so excited. I love that costume. It was so fun.
So good. So good.
And of course, you can check those things out on Todrick's Instagram, which again, we will put in the links below this show. Yes, Hocus Pocus was one of my favorite movies growing up. So I am super excited for that. And I did have to put one last note, because I do feel a lot like we have bonded on this show, Todrick, but there is something that Nicole told me that is a deal breaker.
Okay.
Like a super deal breaker. And it is that you are in love with hairless cats. And I think cats are the devil and steal your soul while you sleep.
Well, that is a very unpopular opinion, Eric. And I think a lot of old ladies, it has been scientifically proven that cats lengthen your lifespan. And a lot of old ladies that are sitting around with cats would beg to differ from that. They don't steal your soul. They make your soul last longer. And so I think this is honestly why us guys, just as a sex and as a species, we start knocking off, and these women have to like marry 3 different men, and they outlive us all because they are hip to the game. The women have the love for cats, okay?
Okay.
Dog is man's best friend, sure, but they don't make your life last longer. So it's up to you. You can be not a cat person, then I'll last longer than you.
I feel like Todrick was on the debate team because I'm leaning toward Disneyland. I'm leaning toward cats. Eric,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not done, Nicole. They make you live longer because you're constantly alert and you can't ever rest because, God forbid, you don't put their food down. They're going to come claw your face off.
That's not bad.
I know that that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense on how you slice it.
I watch Big Brother. I have it. Now, are you one of the people that feel you have a nice cat?
I know that I do. It's factual.
I tried to save a cat.
You cannot come over to see my costumes if you don't meet my cats first.
Are they hairless?
Yes.
Now that's good because really my issue with cats is I'm deathly allergic.
That's true.
That's nothing a little Claritin won't fix.
That's true. And even that being said, a poor little innocent cat ended up in my yard, and after 10 years of doing shows saying how I think cats are the devil, I saved the cat, and everyone was so happy with me. Because I'm a good person.
Cats are so divisive, and I just don't get it, because I was one of those people that was like, oh, I want to be a dog person, but I actually love dogs, but I don't love them enough to deal with their bad breath, with them always running up to me, begging for table food. You have to walk with them. You have to be with them for every poop that they do their entire life. You get a cat and they're potty trained immediately. They know how to go into their litter box. They don't bark all the time. When people come over, they don't run to the door and start screaming all the time. They don't, they're just very easy to deal with. I'm not saying cats are better than dogs, but I'm just saying cats get a bad rep and it's not deserved, and I'm here to fight for them.
But see, cats have their own owners. Dogs rely on you. So it's see, I don't have a boyfriend, so I need something to give my love to. So my little Georgia Peach, she loves me and she's my baby. She's my dog, she's my baby. I love her. So if
you ever do decide to get a cat, if you ever do decide to get a cat, you should get a Sphinx cat because they are so lovely. It's kind of the perfect hybrid between the qualities that you like from both animals, because they're cold, so they love human interaction. They love the warmth from the human body, and they love to be cuddled. Yes. See, after falling in love, come over to the cat side.
Okay, Nicole, again, I would like to quickly remind you, hairless cat, and then my dog Charlie.
Yeah, but Charlie's adorable and he's a cat size.
And so he is technically the most cat-like dog. His species is the most cat-like of dogs. I agree. I would love a hairless cat. I think I would actually love one, I think.
I'm so glad we talked about this and we were able to.
I am too.
I can't believe how fast the hour has flew. I do really quickly before we wrap up. I know you need to go, Todrick, because you're a very busy person. I want to talk about your music career in general, show your album covers and whatnot. I know you just had Quarantine Queen come out over quarantine, and you had mask, gloves, soap, scrub. It was twerk for me, what? Twerk for me.
Oh, is that how? Wait. Is that how you envisioned your song to go, Dr. Nicole Anthony going twerk for me? Is that how you envision? Is it? Because that's not how I saw it.
His songs are all inclusive, Eric.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Right. They are all inclusive. I agree.
Even for my Christian twerking.
I love my Christian twerking. I don't know what your religion is, but I just say Christian twerking is twerking that can be done in a church, and that's what I feel that you were doing. I've had so much fun making these albums. I'm in the studio right now. I took a break to come have this call, so I'm gonna head back in soon. But I'm so happy that I got to do this. I'm really excited for people to hear the new music, and thanks to everybody who has taken these songs and made them their own and put them on TikTok and dance to them at their recitals, put them in their cheerleading routines, or just use them to get hyped up to go to the club and to feel more fabulous. That's the reason why I write them. And I hope that we get to work together somehow. Yes.
Because you have the ones you ain't shit, your dog ain't shit. When I'm feeling savage, I'm yeah, tell those Twitter trolls you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wrote that song speaks to me, honestly.
Our next
I yelled at the Twitter trolls and they sabotaged me.
Oh, this is my favorite thing that Nicole. We almost made it through, Nicole. We almost made it through. Todrick, you're now Nicole, and Nicole is now you.
I love it.
No,
Good.
I will move us back one second. I'll get us all back into our spot. Don't worry, we edit these after too. So what was I going to just say? Yes. And wasn't Nicole in one of your music videos? I feel, didn't you have Big Brother people in?
I missed the deadline. Let's not bring that up, please.
Oh, no, I thought you were in one. You were in a tutu in a hallway?
No, that was our cast thing that we did to a Lady Gaga song. That was Tommy's idea.
That was Tommy's idea. I have a horrible memory, is my point.
She was asked to be in the video, but she didn't quite make it. But that's okay, because that means in 2021, you know, now that I've been on the podcast, she has to, you know, come on and be in a video.
Twerk for me.
Yes.
She has to. Well, Todrick, we thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. What do you want to say to your fans? Again, we will have all the links to your socials below, but if you want to, because people will listen to this back as a podcast, if you want to tell people where to follow you on social media to start, you could start there.
Well, I have been blessed with a very original name. So if you just look up Todrick, it's just one D, Todrick. On social media, you can find me. And what do I want to say to my fans? Just thank you. I can't say thank you enough. I grew up in a very, very small town, smaller than you think. Like whatever you think small is, lower your expectations. And then I lived somewhere like that. And the fact that I'm getting to live in LA and pursue my dreams and share my art and my vision and my creativity with the world is truly a blessing. And I appreciate my fans so much more during times that are low, that they are there for me and support me. I love it when they're there, when things are viral and when they're at my concerts and shows, but it really means a lot to me that on a regular Tuesday, my fans come up and show up, or the fact that they're here now watching this. So thank you so much for the never-ending support. I'm in the studio cooking up something really fierce for you all next year. I can hear the beats starting to go back again. I can't wait for you all to hear it. And I hope this is the first of many times that I'm on your podcast.
Yes.
Dude, this is a lot of fun. You're very like real, down to earth and funny.
Yes, we love it.
Thank you. I try.
Nicole, final thoughts?
Final thoughts is exactly what I just said. Thank you for coming on the show and being, like I said, so real and authentic. And like you said, the star of the show, open and honest and your true self. We love it. I realized the resemblance between you and Eric with your loves of Disney and Broadway, and although we differ on the land versus world, but you know what? I look forward to going to Broadway with all of you and Disneyland World, wherever the hell it is. I forgot already. But
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this show. Don't forget, share it if you're watching it back in the future. Thumbs up, subscribe, give it a nice rating and review wherever you're listening to it. And we will see you guys all in the next show. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.
Bye.